Jezebel. The name alone conjures images of a wicked, manipulative woman, a name that has echoed through the corridors of history, often shrouded in infamy and scandal. Her story, as told through centuries of religious interpretation, paints her as a villain of epic proportions, a figure whose very mention could send shivers down the spine of the devout. But is this portrayal accurate, or is it a convenient narrative crafted by those who sought to demonize her? The historical Jezebel was a woman of power and influence in a time when women rarely held either. She was a queen who wielded authority in a patriarchal society, a feat that was both remarkable and threatening to the established order. She was a queen who challenged the religious and social norms of her day. Her marriage to King Ahab of Israel was not just a union of two individuals, but a merging of different cultures and religions. To understand Jezebel, we must delve deeper than the surface and uncover the woman behind the myth. We must sift through the layers of bias and prejudice that have clouded her story for millennia. Jezebel's story is not just about her alleged wickedness. It is a story of power, religion, and the clash of cultures. A story that reflects the complexities of human nature and the intricacies of political maneuvering. It is a story of a woman who was both revered and reviled, a figure who has been interpreted in myriad ways depending on the perspective of the storyteller. It is a story that has resonated through the ages, evolving from a cautionary tale into a complex narrative that continues to fascinate and provoke debate. A narrative that has been shaped and reshaped by the hands of historians, theologians, and artists alike. Was she a ruthless tyrant or a shrewd political operator? A woman who used her intelligence and resources to navigate the treacherous waters of ancient politics. A religious zealot or a victim of circumstance, a woman whose actions were driven by her beliefs and the pressures of her environment. By examining the historical context and separating fact from fiction, we can begin to understand the multifaceted figure of Jezebel. We can appreciate her as a complex individual who defied easy categorization. A woman who left an indelible mark on history. In the end, Jezebel's story is a reminder of the power of narrative and the ways in which history can be both a mirror and a lens, reflecting our own biases and illuminating the truths of the past. Beyond the stereotype lies a story worth exploring, a story that challenges us to look beyond the surface and seek a deeper understanding of the past. Jezebel was born into a royal family in Tyre, a powerful Phoenician city-state. Tyre was renowned for its wealth, advanced maritime trade, and vibrant culture. As a princess, Jezebel was well versed in the political and religious intricacies of her homeland. Her upbringing in the royal court of Tyre equipped her with the knowledge and skills necessary to navigate the complex world of ancient politics and diplomacy. During the 9th century BCE, she married Ahab, the king of Israel, and became his queen. This marriage was not just a union of two individuals, but a strategic alliance between two powerful nations. The wedding was a grand affair, symbolizing the merging of two distinct cultures and heralding a new era of political cooperation and mutual benefit. This union was more than a personal alliance. It had significant political and religious implications. The marriage strengthened the ties between Israel and Tyre, facilitating trade and cultural exchange. The strategic location of Tyre as a major port city allowed Israel to access new trade routes and markets, boosting its economy and enhancing its political influence in the region. Jezebel brought with her the customs and beliefs of her homeland, including the worship of Baal, a prominent deity in Phoenician culture. Baal was revered as a god of fertility, rain, and agriculture, essential for the prosperity of any agrarian society. Jezebel's devotion to Baal was deeply rooted in her cultural identity and religious upbringing. This differed significantly from the worship of Yahweh, the God of Israel, creating tension and conflict within the kingdom. The Israelites, who were monotheistic, viewed the polytheistic practices introduced by Jezebel with suspicion and hostility. The stark contrast between the two religious traditions led to a cultural and spiritual divide within the kingdom. Jezebel's introduction of Baal worship was not merely a religious decision, but a calculated political move. By promoting Baal, she sought to consolidate her power and influence within the royal court. She believed that aligning Israel's religious practices with those of Tyre would strengthen the political alliance and ensure the loyalty of her Phoenician supporters. By promoting Baal, a god associated with fertility and prosperity, she aimed to strengthen the alliance between Israel and Tyre, fostering economic growth and stability within her adopted kingdom. The fertility rituals and ceremonies dedicated to Baal were believed to ensure bountiful harvests and the well-being of the people, further legitimizing her position as queen. However, her actions were met with resistance from the prophets and followers of Yahweh, who viewed Baal worship as idolatry and a threat to their faith. The prophets, who held significant influence over the people, openly condemned Jezebel's religious reforms and rallied the Israelites against her. This opposition created a volatile environment, with religious debates and protests becoming a common occurrence. This clash of religious ideologies set the stage for a dramatic showdown that would shape the course of Israelite history. The conflict between the prophets of Yahweh and the followers of Baal escalated into a series of confrontations, each more intense than the last. These events not only defined Jezebel's reign, but also left an indelible mark on the religious and cultural landscape of ancient Israel, influencing the region's history for generations to come. Jezebel's reign coincided with a period of significant social and religious upheaval in Israel. Her story is one of power, prejudice, and the struggle for influence in a deeply patriarchal society. The worship of Yahweh was deeply ingrained in Israelite culture, forming the bedrock of their religious and social identity. The temple was not just a place of worship, but a center of community life, where rituals and traditions were meticulously observed. The introduction of foreign deities, brought by Jezebel from her homeland, was met with suspicion and hostility. This clash of religious beliefs created a rift within the community, leading to conflicts and a sense of unease among the Israelites. Moreover, Jezebel's position as a powerful queen challenged the patriarchal norms of the time. Her assertiveness and authority were seen as a direct threat to the established order, where women were expected to be subservient and confined to domestic roles. Women in ancient Israel were generally relegated to domestic roles, their lives centered around the home and family. They were expected to be obedient and supportive, with little involvement in public or political life. Jezebel's active involvement in politics and religion was viewed as a dangerous anomaly. She was not content to remain in the background. Instead, she took an active role in shaping the policies and direction of the kingdom, often clashing with the male-dominated leadership. Despite the societal pressures and religious opposition, Jezebel remained a formidable force in Israelite politics. Her confidence and determination allowed her to navigate the treacherous waters of political intrigue, making her a key player in the kingdom's affairs. She used her influence to advance her agenda, often employing ruthless tactics to silence her opponents. Her methods were controversial, and she was willing to go to great lengths to maintain her power and achieve her goals. The biblical narrative portrays her as a manipulative and even murderous figure, responsible for the deaths of those who dared to oppose her. This depiction has cemented her legacy as one of the most notorious women in ancient history. While the veracity of these accounts is debated, they highlight the fear and resentment she inspired among her detractors. Her actions and the reactions they provoked are a testament to the complex dynamics of power and prejudice in ancient Israel. Jezebel's story is a stark reminder of the challenges faced by women who dared to break free from societal constraints and assert their power. Her legacy is a blend of admiration and vilification, reflecting the enduring struggle for gender equality and the right to lead. Today, Jezebel's story resonates with the ongoing fight for women's rights and leadership roles. Her life serves as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration, reminding us of the progress made and the challenges that still lie ahead in the quest for true equality. Born into the opulence of the Phoenician court, Jezebel was no stranger to power and influence. Her upbringing in Tyre, a thriving center of trade and commerce, exposed her to diverse cultures and instilled in her a keen political acumen. Her marriage to Ahab, while a strategic alliance, also appears to have been a love match. Ancient sources suggest a deep bond between them, with Ahab often swayed by Jezebel's counsel and affections. Upon her arrival in Israel, Jezebel wasted no time in asserting her influence. She surrounded herself with loyal advisors and actively participated in courtly affairs. Recognizing the importance of religious symbolism in consolidating power, she promoted the worship of Baal, seeking to integrate her own cultural heritage into the fabric of Israelite society. This decision, while strategically sound, would ultimately prove to be her undoing, pitting her against the powerful priesthood of Yahweh and setting the stage for a confrontation that would decide the fate of the kingdom.